Go.
Hello, sharks. The most important thing about news is that it's relevant. We want stories that we can relate to, and whether that inspires us to go participate in a protest or just makes us laugh, we want something that's relevant to us. The problem is when we're traveling, it's not easy to get access to news that's nearby us. So my app is geolocated like Yik Yak and features small posts like Twitter. So everyone in a certain area can post what news is going on. There could be a restaurant promotion, there could be a parade going on, there could be a fire, and people need to know what's going on in that area. So everyone uses it, and then the best users get upvote. It's regulated like Reddit, it's self-regulated, so that the best users have the best ratings, and that way anyone who wants good news can just go to the top of the news feed and it's already there. We'll make our revenue through ads, because there'll also be a video portion of the website, so there can be video ads, which makes more money, and regular ads before the news stories. And if you want to click on each story to get a longer journalistic view of it, there can be expanded stories within the short posts. And the difference for me is that I came up with this idea myself, I'm uniquely passionate about it, and can get the work done to make this idea a reality.
So, have any of you ever gotten nervous reading the news? Because I know I do, and I'm 19 years old, which is basically an adult. And so, my idea, the problem is that there's no news site that gives news for the kids. And so, kids can't understand news because parents are too scared that their kids will have fear, anxiety, depression from just watching the news. So the solution is for the kids, which will curate news and organize it so that it's not only understandable to kids, but that it won't create fear and they can actually understand it. And so the news will be written by college students, because we're that perfect awkward age between adults that understand the news, but also we were just kids recently, so we can make it understandable for the kids. And this will be a non-for-profit organization which will be funded by companies that want to let the younger generations stay educated what's happening in our world, because it's really important that these kids stay educated. And yeah, I mean, we don't want to leave the kids in the dark. So if you have any questions.
So again, good afternoon everyone. So I'm here to get you guys ahead of the curve on the future of news, and that is virtual reality. Through the use of 3D and video virtual reality technology. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to roll with it.
Alright,
Through the use of 3D and video virtual reality technology, which is user-friendly on any basic browser and also on any smartphone, tablet, TV, computer, you name it, I will create a product that creates narratives that take consumers on a virtual tour. For example, Scandal in DC will be covered on a tour that takes you through the White House to the offices of the people involved and the spaces involved. But more importantly, these offices, these spaces, these stories will be experienced by the consumer. Combining the print era's ability to write long stories with the digital era's ability to create stories that are both comprehensible and interactive, my product will solve the need for in-depth yet accessible news by touching long stories that other alert systems and pithy systems wouldn't dare touch, while making them attractive, fun, and most importantly, easy for the consumer. It's really a hands-off process. So while targeting those looking for technological, entertaining, and thorough news, as well as those that like storytelling of news and structured journalism, my product will make money through foundation funding and sponsored content. This is because technology and news organizations will jump at this brand new and exciting opportunity to tell news, and sponsored content can easily be seasoned throughout the story at various places that make sense along stories. And as the project gains customers and then funding, we can add web designers and investigative journalists to the project as it expands to make it more of a comprehensive website. And then as a student placed at a university centered on technological innovation and starting news, I will be a premier leader for a project of this nature. And so yeah, let's make news a reality.
So, police brutality, it's a really big social issue right now, but there aren't that many websites that we can use to track events of alleged police brutality. So what I want to do is create a structured journalism site that focuses on alleged cases of police brutality. You can go in, you can look at the economic makeup, you can look at the racial makeup of the areas of the alleged cases of police brutality, and you can also look at information like the general socioeconomic status of the person who the case of police brutality was against. You can also look at information about the cop and past cases of police brutality in that area. Now, I would get funding from a organization or a foundation like the Knight Foundation, and I can do this because I have a lot of experience with data. I'm an Intel semi-finalist. I've worked with data sets with over 10,000 pieces of individual data in them, and I know structured journalism from working with Bill, and I think that the movement would really latch on to this idea as a way to keep up with cases in the timeline of alleged cases of police brutality. Thank you.
Okay, so here's the problem. Missouri has some of the worst campaign finance laws in the entire nation. So we are one of only 4 states in the entire country that has no limits on campaign contributions and lobbyist gifts. So when there's no limit on money in politics, you can absolutely buy influence. So they're selling votes, and here's the need. We want to know who's buying. So here's my solution. I want to build a web database that's easily accessible that tracks lobbying activity. So you can type in your address or your name, find your representative, and you can find 3 things. 1, who they met with. 2, how much money they received. And 3, what gifts they received. So this really is important information because transparency in the government and of itself is important. So voters need and want this information, and I think we can supply it in a very accessible form. So I'm born and raised Missourian, and this is very important to me, and I care about it. So I know Missouri politics, so I can build this. So we're looking at a nonprofit. We'll make money and sustain ourselves in 2 ways: donations and foundation funding. So if you're interested in making government more transparent, I would love to work with you.